is get some air. And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful, as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. You got to be willing to work off for 3 hours of sleep, 2 hours. If you really want to be successful, some days you're going to have to stay up 3 days in a row. Because if you go to sleep, you might miss the opportunity to be successful. That's how bad you got to want it.
I'll make some shit shake today. Big gun on me, I'll make some shit stank today. They don't know me really good cause I don't crack a smile, but different little hoes be wanting to fuck cause I'm black and brown. Scat pack on me now, Rango or the Jeep. I could drop a scat pack, Rango or the Jeep. You can't compete on how we blow these rats cause these legally. Impressing hoes with the big cribs like a B&B.
School got that 10 mil, it's 3 Glocks, but it's me and niggas walking around with a ticking watch, rolling TNT. Last week I ain't had no drink, I couldn't eat or sleep. I only got an 8, I'm selling 5, I'ma keep it 3. When you iced up, the only thing hoes say is skeeted. I only had a zip serving with a scale when they free Lil D. Made a lot fucking with the rock. I'm sagging all doing donuts and a cat, you and a D on E.
Alright, fuck it. I got a Rocky bag. I've been taking risks too. I ain't Rocky bad. I just bought a new strap. I had to cock it fast. I just dogged out a new bitch. I'm doing thotties bad. Ain't no niggas shooting where I stay. I want my house glass. I be doing square business too. Every ounce glass. Put this little shit inside the wall. I got a house stash. Me and bro be scoring too easy. I threw a bounce pass.
$1 million cash money trying to scheme on it. I eat the pussy if you pour an ounce of lean on it. Up close with the new toast. Don't need a beam on it. I know D love me. He just turned down some green for me. And he was finna get it from a fiend for free. I ain't trying to drink no lean today, bro. Fiend with me.
Alright, fuck it. This what it is. Hey, this bitch is not a blood, but she a slob. You come in the club to look, I came here to do my job. You come around us with no pay, we think you trying to rob. This ain't Dope Boys Cash Out, but they calling us the mob. Yeah. Fence around my crib with the barbed wire. This bitch was tripping last night, she flattened door tire. All of us together sound good like a whole choir. I ain't trying to buy half a brick, see I'm a whole buyer. You can call me anything but a liar. Used to fuck these hoes slow as hell playing Jeremiah. Now the hoes are fucking thugged out and got their own fire. Niggas know that they can't fit inside the circle, it's the wrong size.
Alright, watch this. Turn the zip to 100 grams when I blow it up. 3 blues, 90 milligrams, and I ain't throwing up. I just woke up out of lean, come pouring up. Hey, stop saying that's dog shit if you can fold it up. Matter of fact, that's dog shit, you gotta give it back. Still ain't satisfied, should've hit the nigga in his head. Free peasy in 6 months, I made $250,000 in the Fed. And baking soda water, I'm locking it. Rolls Royce truck, act purple, I'm dropping it. I can't hold you up, I wanna fuck. If not, then dip. 12 lines of walk every day, my doctor shit. Girly head game excellent, she got a doctorate. Drink more than my bitch, we break up about it. Lost my mind in Gucci other day, I spent 8-some thousand. Told my bitch all the hoes I fuck, but I ain't that honest. Then she looked up and just smiled like you ain't that toxic. A headshot from an AK, doing 8 backflips. Damn right my money I got clean, cause the bank had it. I got a seal pint of tech and I got a glass. But hey, I'ma need 9200, I break that plastic. Me and Eli back again, y'all can't fuck with us. Me and mines ain't going nowhere, y'all stuck with us. Just me and Louis chilling in the hood with like a buck with us. Always let's hold the strap cause he clutch different. Flint shit, walking through the hood with a big stick. I knew the bitch could suck a good dick, she got big lips. Don't try to run when I blow the gun cause I got 6 clips. My recent Google search was Richard Millie's, bitch I'm really rich. A whole pint of walking, 1 pop look like a 6 of trip. Don't know if I'm gonna get some drink today, it's a hit or miss. Don't hit my corner trying to be slick and get your engine hit. My bitch pulled all my drink up, I had a pissy fit. What you trying to fight for? Thinking about snatching Rio chain, what you wanna die for? Doing 100 down the strip, trying to dodge 5. Trying to move this bag I got around, I need a fucking high low. Cut a nigga lean with antifreeze, I'ma watch him die slow. Hit him in his forehead with the alright. Hit him in his forehead with 4 nick, I'ma leave a pie hole. $500,000 just off rap, what I'ma stop for? If you really got a plug on act, what you drinking snot for? Last nigga I shot, I can't even tell you what I popped him for. I can get a walk paint for $36. I can spend $1,000 every month for 36 summers. Looking at my bank account, it's like 26 million. They like, why you won't stop shooting? What, you don't see the clip under it? Yeah, this a whole 50, but it hold 10. Back in Flint, I got shooters. I can get you killed for 450. Crazy. It costs 5 racks just to go to sleep. Nigga up 20,000 dubs. What you showing me? I might try to fuck every bitch in the club. That's the hoe in me.
And I'm sick and tired of seeing fighter jet minded people living crop duster lives.
Welcome to the Bedros Keuilian Show.
Hey friends, welcome to the Bedros Keuilian Show. I'm Bedros Keuilian, and today I want to talk to you about the 4 dumb mistakes that most men make throughout their life. And these mistakes end up leading to a life of regret later on down the road. See, I'm old enough and I've talked to enough people, men who are, well, let's just say north of 60, 65, 70 years old, And when I talk to them, these are the 4 things I hear over and over again. The 4 dumb mistakes that men make that ultimately end up in regret are these. And I'm going to save the best one here for last. Like, this 4th one is really the pinnacle. I'm going to save that for last because I really want to drive it home for you. But the first thing I want to talk to you about is the 4 dumb mistakes that men make is the development or lack of development of persuasive communication, right? Think about this. As a man, you're going to want to be persuasive. You're going to want influence. You're going to want to be able to get your thoughts and your feelings across to an individual, or maybe to a group of people, or if you run a company, to your employees, or if you're going to be on stage, to the audience. And if you do not know how to communicate persuasively, you'll always find yourself feeling frustrated, and you'll always find yourself having to succumb to other people's ideas because you won't be able to sway others towards your idea. And if you feel that your idea, your way, your method, your philosophy is better, then you have to learn to communicate persuasively. And in the absence of that, I see so many men who are frustrated, who feel like they can say, if they can only say what's on their mind, what's on their heart, they would really be able to impact and influence more people. Well, the byproduct of influence is through communication, right? If you really want to influence people, you have to communicate clearly. And so that means you're going to have to build your vocabulary. That means you're going to have to learn how to debate. You're going to have to learn how to actually give a case and leave emotions out of it, be logical, be able to take feedback, and then be able to still counter your thoughts, feelings, and reasonings why you're doing things or think that something should be a certain way. And in the absence of that, if you can't get people to want what you're thinking, to feel like they need what you're selling, or to feel like there's a great benefit to changing their mind and going your way, then you'll always feel frustrated. If you're a salesperson, you'll always be broke. If you're trying to post on social media, you'll always feel like you're not able to communicate your message, and so you're not getting enough eyeballs and reach. And if you're not getting enough eyeballs and reach, that means you have a business that's not getting enough leads and prospects, right? So you're not making enough money. And let's face it, money is a vehicle to freedom, to opportunity, to experiences. And money truly does solve the problem of not having money. And that's a really good problem to solve. So understand your ability to become persuasive and to communicate is paramount. And it is a weapon that men need in order to be able to influence, impact, and generate a lot of income. Thing number 2 that men fail to achieve throughout their life is developing their physical potential, developing your physical prowess, like being able to develop a lean, athletic, muscular body that can lift, that can run, that can jump, that can fight, that can move, right? Most men these days, unfortunately, are fat, out of shape, have gelatinous titties that you could just slap around in milk, and they wonder why they have low self-esteem. And every year they go, well, I'll get fit next year. I'll get fit next year. And I talk to all these dudes who are in their 20s and 30s and just have these pasty, gelatinous, pear-shaped bodies. And I'm like, bro, why do you let yourself be this way? And everyone tells me, I want a better body. I want to be fit. But what they essentially say is it's not a priority to them. What's a higher priority is staying in your mama's basement, playing video games with Cheeto dust all up in your belly button. That's the reality. And in the absence of developing your physical prowess, you're never going to be the confident, capable man that you know you can be. And when you're not confident, you're not going to be attractive. Let's face it, confidence is attractive. Confidence in a man, I respect. Now, a woman is attracted to a confident man. A man can respect the confident man. And so if 2 equal people walked into this room right now to offer me something, and one was out of shape by 20, 30, 40 pounds, and the other one was built athletically and all of the things were equal in their life, I would completely discount.
Good morning, family. How we feeling? We got 13 people on here in the cut today. Gold. Oh man. Gold is lovely right now. Right? I don't know if any of you guys bought it, but you know, me and the squad most definitely did. Right? And it looks like it's getting ready to do that thing, right? That thing. So let's see what happens. Beginning of this new 4-hour candle. To me, I anticipate this upward movement. But just seeing how this hourly opened, we definitely just want to see this 15-minute close to the upside. But we're going to go ahead and get it started here in another 2 to 3 minutes, family. So keep sending the link out to people. And yeah, shit. Let's get at least 25, 30 people on the call, fam. Like I said, we're going to get it started here in another minute, maybe 2 minutes.
The one who was 20, 30 pounds overweight, and I would do business with that person who looked athletic, who looked lean, who looked fit, because it tells me something about them, that they respect themselves, that they honor themselves, that they respect their God, their creator, right? If you're not going to do it for yourself, I imagine you would do it at least to be a role model for your kids so that they could be healthy, so that they could achieve the full potentiality of their physical fitness in life, right? Undoubtedly, if you have kids, you tell them to eat right and to exercise, but you know that they're not listening to what you're saying because they're really listening to what they're seeing, and what they're seeing is a gelatinous, pear-shaped dad who's got titties that are milkable. And I share this with you, fellas, because if you do not develop your physical potential, you're not a great role model. And if you're into God, if you're into believing that there's a creator, then you are disrespecting your creator, your God. Because I imagine your God did not create you to be fat, floppy, low energy, negative, low confidence, to be a complainer, because that is what overweight, fat people do. They're just organically more pessimistic. They have less energy. They have less agency. They have less drive. They have less ambition. Do you want that for yourself or for your kids? Probably not, right? And so I share this with you because it's such a dumb mistake to make by kicking the can of fitness down the road when you know that you can make time for it. So it's not that you don't have time for it, it's that you're not making time for it, and it is a very big mistake, because not only are you missing out on getting confidence, high self-esteem, the respect from other men, and the attraction and the neck breaking from women who see you, but you are also missing out on the opportunity to build traits, to develop the traits that come with the physique, right? Think about what it takes to build a strong, athletic physique. You have to work out consistently every day. Consistency, right? You have to be focused on your diet for a long time. You have to be disciplined to do the workouts and to eat right, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even when you didn't sleep well, even when it's cold outside, even when it's raining, even when it's just too difficult to get out of bed. The person that has the ability to get up and stay focused and consistent is a disciplined motherfucker. And that disciplined motherfucker is gonna get more done in life, because those same traits that took to develop your body by eating right and training consistently are the same traits of discipline, focus, consistency you need to excel in every other area of life. As a spouse, as a father, as a friend, as an entrepreneur. So why would you not develop those traits as you develop your body and your confidence and self-esteem? And add to that one more, that if you don't do that, if you kick that can down the road.
Good morning. How's everybody feeling? Everybody feeling good? Drop a 1-on-1 in the chat if you guys can hear me. Hope you guys can hear me okay. Welcome to an NYC live trading. Right, I know we missed yesterday. I had to get a few things sorted. Right, I had to handle a few things yesterday. But we here, we back. I know you guys missed me. Right? You missed the gold setups. But ideally, taking a look at the market just right now, looking at gold, at least we could take a look and see that it virtually did exactly what we anticipated from yesterday. Right? Yesterday we were looking at price to ideally just break below here, this black line, and ideally get towards this lower point of interest. We had a little bit of a hourly point of interest that just aligned with a weekly point of interest. So it was a hourly within a weekly area that we were looking at, which you can see as soon as we tapped this little insufficiency, this point of interest, we basically flew like, what was it, like 60 pips, something like that, 50 pips. So overall right now, what I'm anticipating for gold, I anticipate us to probably just have this continuation towards the upside. 5 minute wise, like just us even coming back into here, to me is sufficient enough for like a fill. So you could potentially look to position yourself in gold longs. Like first target for me seems very simple, just these equal highs that we have here. Right, I think we more than likely take this easily, in my opinion. But as well, if you really just wanted to wait for like that confirmation in terms of like 15-minute, I just want to see this 15-minute candle engulf. If it doesn't engulf, I don't think we'll continue towards the upside. It just wouldn't make sense for us to not close this 15-minute with just that bullishness, right? That's ideally what I would want to see, but we still could dip a little bit lower, like I said, to fill this IPA. So you could potentially have your stop like below the low would be about like 23 pips. Our take profit would be about a 1 to 5. But let's say we're able to maybe come down a little bit lower and you're able to just wait to position yourself. Maybe able to get in and position yourself with like maybe a 10 pip stop if we're able to get that low. Or even if you do enter here, maybe instead of having your stop all the way at the low, maybe you give it like a 10-15 pip room to breathe. That way that you don't have to risk as much. So you can kind of play it as you want. Like I said, 9.15 would kind of be the safest alternative if you were like nervous, you were kind of hesitant. Because as you're seeing right now, we're popping up. This is basically how we should close. So basically at 9.15, we'll pop back down. We'll probably like tap the open of this box again. So you'll probably get an opportunity to get back in at least like around this area. Like I said, in this top of this box again, even though like it bounced up. It bouncing up, like I said, you don't want to chase trades just because it spikes up. Like, you have to understand just what time it is, when the new candle's going to open. Like, there's a few things you have to understand before you just, like, close or you even open a trade, because it's just going to make you have a little bit more confidence when taking the position. So, for me, just even taking a look at it on the 1 minute, I like it. I think we're going to pop up. So if you wanted to take a position, like I said, it would be about like 15 pips. To our first target would be about a 1 to 8. I would personally look to break even once we take this high of the day. Because to me, once we take that high of the day, we could really just melt down, truthfully. But overall, like I said, I do want to see this continuation higher. So based out of just what we were looking at yesterday on the call, like I said, if you were just on yesterday's call and you waited, right, for just this area to come get played out of, you can see that if you waited from yesterday London session or Tokyo session, you would basically have to wait all of Tokyo session, all of London session, and we're like halfway through New York session now. And it's like we finally just came and tapped this area like 20 minutes ago. So what you have to understand is we're only really going to take the high and the low of the day once or twice. So the fact that we ran out the low of the day, but notice how there's a wick here, right? So if we go to the line chart, when we now look at this same low point, does this low point close below this low? No. So based off the 5 minute structure, right? Once we get this close Well, really, to me, on my broker, the 5 minute, like, it did break, but on this broker, it was really only the 1 minute and 3 minute, right? But to me, this is more or less just 1 minute, 3 minute. To me, it's probably more 30 second. 30 second will probably be the cleanest time frame, but this is accumulation. This is like 1 minute, 30 second accumulation. Like I said, to me, this is a spring. Okay, so that's why I was able to get in here, and this is why now telling you guys to reposition yourself, this makes a lot of sense right now. And this is why it's like, if you were to have even positioned yourself, right, exactly like how we said right at the beginning of the 15-minute candle, notice how we pop straight down and then boom, now we're running 13 pips just like that, right? So this is exactly what we wanted to see in terms of gold. It was a nice candle close. Like I said, we wanted to see our candle engulf. We engulfed right at the beginning of this 15-minute candle. We punched straight down, and now we're running. So drop an XAU USD if you are in Goldie with me. I'm in blue skies, baby. Gotta love the blue skies. Blue skies. Blue skies, baby. Come on. Love it, love it, love it. Give me 1 second. We'll take a look at the indices. So gold, you should be in profits. This is why I like to just focus on 1 or 2 things, because it's like, shit, if nothing's happening on one thing, I'm just not even really gonna focus on it. But in that case, gold was doing its thing. So now the indices we can kind of break down a little bit longer. Nas actually, shit. So Nas the same. I was actually looking for Nas to come and see how we react out of this IPA down here. Okay, we did touch this. I'm thinking we could maybe see Nas longs. I just want to see this 30-minute candle get tapped. And us tapping that 30-minute would also entail like potentially filling IPA. So I think Nas probably goes up a little bit. From here, maybe, but I would want to see it come a little bit lower, myself personally. $30 looks like it's gonna drop. $30 kind of looks like bullish too, to be honest. $30 looks like we might actually just come down. Like hourly, I would have liked the close, but to me, just looking at this, yeah, I just think that because we took the low of the day, I don't know, like I said, we're not really gonna like towards the upside. It's like everyone could be like shorting right now from like London session. So to me, what the indices will normally do is sweep the board, right? In terms of just taking the low, whatever low of the day. So you can see immediately we took the low of the day. So now, like I couldn't see us coming up and taking this high and then taking this low again. Like, you know what I mean? Like to me, if we took the low of the day, I don't think we'd break above just like this top structure, right? To me, it wouldn't make sense if we're going to go higher. So, in terms of 30, to me, it looks like we potentially are going to drop, but it also looks like, you know, we could go up. So, to me, I just wouldn't touch 30. Nas, to me, just seems a little bit more ideal. Like I said, with the divergence, it's just Nas is a little bit lower in the sequence. Like, Nas, in perspective, is like down here in perspective to 30, right? When we really sit here and we take a look at it. So this is why I say it's just crucial to be able to kind of sit here and identify these points of interest and just choose which one makes the most sense. Like I said, sometimes 30 is going to be extremely bearish, but you're looking for buys on the indices, right? Because you're looking at Nas. So you're looking at Nas, You're looking at S&P, they might look like they're gonna go up, but then you're looking at 30 and it looks bearish. So then now you're sitting here and you're like, damn, okay, maybe I should sell Nas, and then you end up getting clapped. Or just something along the lines of that. Look at her, bitch. So Nas is breaking down, cool. Like I said, I wouldn't really be forcing a position on the indices, especially if you took gold, because gold has you up a quick 30 pips. If you entered here, what I would look to do is adjust my stop loss to like below this wick. If you entered like a little bit higher up, then to me it's just, what you have to understand is price could still come back down like deeper into this area and feel that. In terms of 5 minute, absolutely it could, but based off of the 15-minute time frame, I truthfully really wouldn't want to see us even really come back down into here. Like, we shouldn't come too much lower than here, right? To me, if anything, we tap the open of this candle and then boom, go. Like I said, if we do go lower, it's to that little 5-minute IPA. So so you guys really have to sit here and just kind of identify, all right, in terms of positioning, like, did you position yourself in an ideal opportunity, like on this wick down here, right? Because if you did, like I said, after this, us making a new higher high, 5 minute, you could have partialed out, you know, we're up 30 pips, you could partial out like 40-50% of your position, and then just wait for the re-entry, right? If there is an opportune re-entry, to me, the opportune re-entry probably comes at the beginning of the next 30 minute. Right, so what I would really want to see is 30 minute wise, I do want to see this candle close bullish, because if we're looking at it from the flip, like the other perspective, this is why I would say I would look to adjust stop loss or even potentially look to break even. And it's just due to the simplistic fact that in terms of what we've done now, in terms of filling this IPA, like, we could continue to the downside now. Like, this would be healthy for us to just make a new lower low if the market really wanted to push lower. But 30 minute, like I said, if we get this engulfing candle, that would then be an engulfing on the 15 minute and the 30 minute, right? 15 minute we engulf. Then for this one to engulf too, that would be quite nice, because like I said, what we're really just anticipating in terms of at least like the 4 hour, I would just want to see the 4 hour overall. Like, I would want to see it close above here. So in the next like 3 hours, I guess this is the accurate one. So what it would look like. In the next 3 hours, I'd want to see us close above 1930. Right, so that's just kind of what I would be anticipating and looking for in terms of just overall target and direction. But you can see, like I said, out of that 30 minute IPA, right, we're getting a crazy reaction out to downside. So in terms of 5 minutes, seeing this engulf, right, that's not what we'd want to see. So even in terms of longs, like I said, so I said partial break even, because gold is very good at filling like these little IPAs and insufficiencies. So when we don't, like I said, we normally will. So when we leave them, like I said, and then we start to run like that, once you catch that little continuation, right, once we make a new higher high, you have to expect us to come back down to these areas. All right, so this is literally exactly like the epitome of what I was describing on the flip side. So this is why you have to be alert, but you also just have to be able to make a decision quick. Because if you do make a decision to like break even or partial up here, it's like now you're probably, your emotions are just a little bit different than if you were to have paid yourself, right? Because now you're scared. You're like, damn, you know, I might take a small loss, or you might break even. You're like, damn, I was just up 30 pips. I just broke even. But in reality, you really have to sit here and understand that, okay, if this is the move and this is, you know, what's supposed to be happening, like, you're gonna get an ideal opportunity, right? Because let's say, for example, you miss a trade. Now this is the time that you get back in, right? This is not the time that you get scared. This is not the time that you get worried, right? You get not even scared or worried, but to me, you just understand your trade is invalid if we actually get a body close below here. So this is what you have to understand, right? It's okay that price came back. It's just watching to see what happens, right? Is it gonna chill around here, right? At the beginning of this new 5-minute candle, what we would want to see. What we said overall on the 30-minute, we want to see us engulf the previous sell candle. Because if we don't, then to me, like I said, we like 90%, like we probably don't, right? There's a chance we don't, but that would only be if the 5-minute, that little 5-minute structure doesn't break down, right? So in all reality, we need to close above this black line right here at about 1925, right? But as you can see, in terms of 5-minute IPAs, right now we're digging our way deeper into this little insufficiency. Right, so now what you have to pay attention to is, okay, there's 3 minutes left in this 30-minute. We need to close above this black line ideally to give us that confirmation, or else what that's just gonna tell us is, okay, maybe we could position ourselves for shorts, right? With any drive back into this candle. That's what that's really leading me to kind of see, more or less. Now it looks like it just tapped that area. So what DXY is saying on the 30-minute. So gold, like I said, boom, coming back all the way down to this 5-minute IPA. So overall, it looks like with just how much time is left, we'll probably, like especially with DXY, it looks like we probably just continue to go lower, right? And if that's the case, then that's fine. Like I said, I would just wait until the 10:30. Like I wouldn't, if you get tapped out now, I wouldn't re-enter before 10:30, right? But if you're not in, it's like this, like I said, is ideally the lowest risk, highest reward. Once it closes below this black line though, like I said, or even if in the next minute, right, based off like the 15-minute, 30-minute, if this 15-minute engulfs back now down to the downside, ideally what we're going to look for is just a drive back up to start right at the beginning of this 30-minute candle, and then we're going to want to see price obviously continue lower, right? So to me, that is what we can expect as long as we engulf on like this 15-minute time frame. So that's really, like I said, kind of what I expect if we close below there. If we don't close below there on the 5-minute, like obviously this 5-minute structure respects, but then if this 15-minute doesn't close below this buy candle, then that could still be like, we still have life if we don't engulf. If we engulf, then the likelihood of us just having this big drive up, this big wick to fill IPA, another big wick that comes back into the same IPA, and then an engulfing candle after that, like that's just not something that I would want to buy, right, personally. Nas, don't tell me Nas is gonna run without us. I hope it could come back. But yeah, with 6 seconds left, the 30-minute, you know, doesn't look too bad just because the wick. But overall, what I would expect to see is right now, based off of how this 30-minute open, right, if we don't just wick back into the body of this candle quick and then run, then what I would expect to see is just us obviously continuing to break down lower, right? Like, I really wouldn't want to see us run below. Like, I couldn't see us really taking this low and then continuing higher, right? But I could see how it opened right here. I could see it wicking down to start the beginning of this 30-minute and then kind of going. But like I said, if we break down just below that area, I'm just not going to be convinced. So 5-minute wise, like I said, this 5-minute low, if we break below that in 4 minutes, then like I said, I wouldn't be looking anything really at all. If we take this low even before then like I said, that's literally, you know, what we expected. So it's not to say that we're not going to come back up and get short opportunities, right? But this 30-minute candle basically is just showing us, okay, boom, damn, that shit fucking dumb. So literally, like, that's the epitome of, you know, that liquidity run, stop run. So that in itself is just a prime example of, overall, when it comes down to the smaller time frame, just taking that bias. But now looking at it from the higher time frame, right, we really just came deeper into this point of interest. So to me, I still like the idea of seeing it I just said damn because it like literally went so low. I'm like, how far did it drop? But I forgot I was on like the 1 minute. I was like, I thought I was on the hourly, so I'm like, damn, that shit really is like, it was gone. But I personally just got back into longs. My stop loss is below the low. This low right here. Right, the reason why we take longs, like I said, we have this point of interest marked up. We came down and all we did was really fill it a little bit more. So to me, that is why I personally took it, only because it really just came into the same area I was already looking at. Right, this isn't like a new point of interest or anything like that. Like, this is something that I truthfully, like I said, I wanted to see us come deeper into this imbalance, and just us having that initial reaction. That's kind of why I was even in the market to begin with, was just because we broke on the 1 minute initially, which was what I was looking at, and then the 5 minute we end up coming around and breaking afterwards. So to me, like I said, long positions, we're looking ideally to still take it up the same way, and this is why, like I said, especially before 10 o'clock or 10:30, it's like, look at this for example. It's like, if you sat here, you bought this initially, right, 30 pips. So initially, you would have been risking, if you kind of broke it down the way that I showed you to, you would have been risking maybe like 15 to just maybe 20 pips at most, right? But ideally like 10 to 15 if you were playing super safe. So let's say you're risking 10 to 15 pips here, you go up 30, right? So let's say you just secure all of it, right? You just take the 30 pips because you understand that we had ideally this little IPA we were looking at. But then you just understand that based off of just the way that the market moves, we could come back lower to that point of interest, right? So just understanding that, you could have secured 30 pips here. And now what that helps you do is have a kind of safety threshold. So let's say, for example, the next trade you want to take, you're risking 10 pips, right? Now you know for sure that no matter what happens on the day, if that is the last trade that you take and you're only risking 10 pips, right, and you're risking the same amount you did last trade, you know for a fact that you're going to remain 20 pips in profit even if you take a loss on that other trade. And mind you, this first trade didn't even really get to where we wanted it to, right? But just by identifying what was happening in the market, right, by identifying, okay, we had that insufficiency, right? The IPA was the first thing we identified, and you guys see how literally, like, from that IPA, hypothetically, you really could have shorted that shit, right? That was 75 pips in maybe 15 minutes, or not even 9 minutes, 10 minutes. But at the same time, look at how fast you would have had to take profit. Like, if you don't have a take profit set in those areas, it's like, to me, I feel like now we're probably going to go take the high. So if we go take the high, like I said, if you didn't have a take profit like below this low or something like that, like, it would have wicked down into here, and then now price is going to go reverse. But even if it didn't, it's like taking a look at the 5 minute, right? With what we were talking about, not wanting to see a close below this low, it's like, as big as the candle was, as crazy as it went down, we actually did not close below this. So structure wise, 5 minute is still bullish. So this is really this is what I talk about, right? Like, this is literally the candle right here. So you see that we didn't actually close below it, but do you see how we wicked so far? Like, someone gotta turn that damn into a meme. Cause really, like, this wick right here is what I talk about when I say gold is very manipulative. Cause like I said, even if we're gonna go lower, it's like the fact that we boom took this low, and like I said, even if we go lower, we're gonna come back up deeper. Like, we're gonna come back up higher into this 15-minute candle, at least in my eyes. I think we probably come back and probably tap 1925, and then we melt. Like, to me, I see us coming back up to at least this 5-minute candle if we do go lower. So that's the thing about it. Even if we're wrong on the buys, just by being able to read price and see, like, okay, shit, we're failing to really break above here. So in reality, like I said, we could see price get that continuation to the downside, especially with dollar. But dollar has no wick on this 30-minute open, which I like, because when we have no wick on the downside, basically what that means is when we drive straight up on DXY or even anything, right? This is kind of what you look for, or this is what I look for. This is what will kind of give me a little bit more confluence, right? So it's not to say that this is going to work all the time, but most of the time, right? There's times where it's just like volatility kicks in and it's like, shit, like, it is what it is. But we have an instance like this, right? So you can see already it is breaking down. So you can see how when we were first looking at it, we were bullish, right? And there was no wick on the bottom. So what that is doing for us, when we just drive straight up to start this beginning of this 30-minute candle, what we're doing in terms of price is we are creating that wick. So what does that mean? We're creating and offering those sells that are then gonna, or those buys that are then gonna allow us to sell the market down and drive this down without having to come back up. So you know how sometimes, boom, you get into trade and then it hits you out, woo, woo. It's typically because you're just not paying attention to this candle open. Because if you paid attention to these candle opens, right, what you'd start to notice is, okay, damn, like, we really do sit here and we react and we do things and it's just fractal. Because you can see immediately, boom, right? We had no wick on the downside. We were fairly bullish and automatically, boom, drop down. Now you can see we have this wick on the downside. So this is what price has to do. This is what healthy price action's ideally gonna look like when it's being created, right? It's gonna have up and down movement. It's not just gonna impulsively go in one direction and not like come back and like fill. Damn, this shit just missed that area too again. Like, I want to see Niles come in here, but it's looking like it's just gonna go. So I would just wait on my hands. Like, unless you really want to take it, if you take it, I would just have my stop below the low. But to me, just looking at these wicks, I think we probably do get this push into this IPA, just looking at it. At least that's what I would anticipate, but who knows? Who knows? Looks like we have some divergence with silver. Silver 15-minute structure looks a lot cleaner towards the upside. Silver looks like we're probably going to run back into here. Gold, like I said, us just not being able to break above and just even now getting this close below, right? This to me would invalidate our long positions. But at least it invalidates it basically at break even. So to me, I would look to close. I don't really see us not going lower. The reason for that is because now we've come back into this last 15-minute candle, right? Before we obviously just drove down, right? You can see how big impulsive this wick is. Then immediately, wick back up. So to me, just looking at it right now, it looks like shorts are probably gonna win, right? Unless the dollar just fucking decides to dump, which it looked like it could on the 5-minute. Yeah, so I guess you're really just gonna have to wait till the end of the hour to see dollar wise, because like I said, based off the just whatever structure we have, beside like the only thing that really, like I said, overall that on gold would make sense to play is, like I said, this hourly. This is like an hourly area, this box right here, and it's also a weekly area. So the fact that we're just in this hourly / weekly area to me is the only reason why like it makes sense to let it kind of breathe. Because smaller time frame wise, there's really no type of structure that's kind of supporting upward movement. It's more or less just, you know, we basically broke to the downside on every time frame now, right? 3 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute. So overall, like I said, it still looks like we could go higher, but we're just gonna have to see what the dollar does at this point. 15-minute, 30-minute structure to me on gold looks like it's gonna drop, but like I said, dollar also looks like it's gonna drop. So if dollar drops, we can expect to see gold go higher, but it's also like it doesn't necessarily have to. And if obviously the dollar drops, then we could expect to see indice shorts more than likely, right? Like 30 wise, if we were to short, we could maybe come back a little bit above here, but ideally I would want to see, I truthfully would want to see us react out of here. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, like this candle right here. And if we were to maybe position ourselves here, like stop above the high, maybe 30 points, but stop kind of in the middle of that range would be about like 21 points, give or take. Like 100 point target, like give or take, to this first little area that we would have. My second position activated and I closed some profits. Tight break even and some change, but we ain't mad. Nah, that's good. Like I said, it's like the only outcomes that really occur in trading for the most part, right, are gonna be small win, small loss, break even, big win. So if you're doing what you need to do, that's really what's gonna happen, right? There's not gonna be any big losses, or there's not gonna be like anything crazy that happens if you really sit here and you follow the plan. But most people just don't follow the plan, right? They're just sitting here worried about the wrong thing. So like I said, overall, what we could expect, to me, just looking at the 30-minute structure, right, we probably close just down. And if we close down, like we close just bearish, obviously after stream, and you're looking to maybe position yourself in shorts, this 30-minute candle, just looking to see it come back into the body of that 30-minute candle, would be probably ideal, right? Like I said, the fact that we just came back into this last up candle, the body of that last up candle, just like I said, we don't have to go higher. Like, we don't even really have to come back up now. We could really just continue dropping. So this is why it's just going to be ideal to wait till the end of the hour to kind of see. Because like I said, it's not even to say that you're not going to be able to take a position. I think whatever happens is going to dictate whether or not you're just going long or you're going short. Because like I said, by the end of the hour, we should ideally have this direction with DXY. Dollar's dropping, so this is why, like I said, I don't really look at anything other than the higher time frame. Overall, like I said, off the weekly, I'm looking for DXY to just melt out of this area. Even out of the hourly time frame is nice, right? We broke below this low, right? We got this break of structure in terms of the hourly, came all the way back up, right? We didn't get a close above this high. So as of right now, like I said, I'm expecting just overall continuation down for dollar. So that's why we're even looking longs for gold, is just because I'm looking for shorts on the dollar, right? If the dollar didn't align with this, I would still be looking for shorts on metals, but you know, we've been positioning ourselves in shorts for the last couple of weeks. So this is why it's just crucial to be able to have that perspective. 30, it's reacting a little bit out of this area, but I just don't like how the 15-minute open. To me, 15-minute looks like it's gonna go higher. It's not quite in our area, but it looks like it's close. Alright, it looks close. For sure looks close, but yeah, same type of thing. Just playing around, wicking right above. Right, so for me, like I said, I don't even really like to get in at the open of these IPAs. So it's just, you know, this is the type of position where if you want to take it where it's at, like I said, you could. For me personally, like I said, I just like to ensure that the risk to reward is always just in my favor and just as ideal as it possibly could be, instead of just having trades just for the sake of taking them. Because to me, you might get like a little 10, 15, 20 pip bounce, 20 point bounce out of whatever area you're looking at. But if that's not the real area, it's like after that 20 point bounce, 20 pip bounce, it's like you probably get your stop ran. And then at that point, it's just like, do you try and re-enter again? Do you try and maybe then just like chase a trade? So I think 30 moves higher, and NAS and S&P might run equal lows created right now. Then reverse. Yeah, definitely could. You know, definitely could. I have the opposite bias, so you know, I think obviously NAS gonna go higher. I don't know about S&P. S&P is filling 15-minute. Well, it filled it. 30, like I said, with how the 15-minute open, it did look like it was gonna go higher, truthfully. But 30 was the one that I liked more for shorts instead of like NAS or S&P. Right, so if I were to short any of them, I would like 30 more, just because 30 is at the top of its range, whereas to me, NAS is at the bottom. S&P is kind of not in a bad area either for longs, just based off of what we filled. We got that little IPA fill, so it makes sense. Let's see what silver doing. Like I said, silver has actually been a lot cleaner than gold the last probably like couple of weeks, like in terms of just overall direction. Like since July, like we've literally just been so clean to the downside on silver, whereas gold is definitely offered a lot more long opportunities and positions to be able to make money going up. So silver still looks like we could really continue higher. Like I said, the divergence, gold is just obviously just breaking down a lot more. GBP, even XAU GBP, there's no wick on this 15-minute candle, so shit. Right, really just taking a look at GBP as well, where the money is. When we sit here and look at where the money is, we look at the liquidity. Well, we have equal lows and we have equal highs. Which one did we just take? Well, we took the equal lows. Right? So just taking a look at that, there's no wick on this candle. What we could expect to see is what? Now these highs to get taken. So if we see those highs get taken, obviously what we're going to expect to see on gold is just the same thing. Right? The same type of deal when it comes down to price action. But the one thing is, like I said, when it comes down to gold versus something like silver, right? Silver is obviously just more bullish, right? So to me, what this means is gold is lagging. And if gold is lagging, then I would imagine we probably just continue to play out of the same hourly type weekly area, right? Because there's 10 minutes left in the hour. So I wouldn't be surprised if we even filled this fully bounce up a little bit, close kind of where we're at right now, and then at the beginning of the next hour, probably wick down and then go up. If we were to go up, that's ideally how it would kind of play out, in my opinion, right? Like I said, we'd probably close around here to then push down right at the beginning to then continue higher. And on the flip, if we're going to continue lower, then we more than likely bounce back up a little bit, right? And then at the beginning of the new hourly at 11 o'clock, we see us push back into this hourly candle. And then from there, we just see us melt. We don't even have to come that high. So if you see any upward movement, that in itself would be your sign to just position yourself, right? If that's what you're looking to do. But ideally, like I said, gold, it wouldn't be too bad to just kind of like wait to see what happens, especially if you're looking to go long. To me, I would feel a lot better with just the shorts if we're able to come back into this area. Yeah, because look at DXY now. DXY, you know, we were breaking down, and now hourly wise, like I said, 30-minute is kind of in between. Like, we're just in the middle of our little daily range. So this is, like I said, gonna kind of make or break what really happens with the indices and the commodities, to be honest. Right, 30, right, out of our area. Nice reaction still. Like I said, it never broke above this area. It just was really not doing anything. Right, 30 dropped about 30 points, give or take. So Nas breaking down. So you could potentially look to take Nas longs, right? But you also, like I said, you could see price potentially continue lower as well. So just be careful, because overall, like I said, the dollar's just kind of doing, it's just bipolar right now. So I would just wait on the dollar, truthfully. Like I said, because 30, like I said, 30 was the cleanest to short if you were shorting. Like I said, just based off of Nas right now, like I wouldn't even be looking to necessarily go long just based off of how bearish we are. Like, we would have to kind of slow down and start to show some signs of exhaustion. Like, boom, 3-minute wise right now, 1-minute wise. Like, this is what I would want to see. I'd want to see at least like an engulfing candle. I'd want to see some buying pressure, right? If we're just sitting here and we're kind of just stalling, we're not really popping up at all. Like, I'd rather see us engulf and have price come up to like here and enter literally here at this arrow, then enter here, just kind of like guessing whether or not it's gonna go up. Like, even now wouldn't be a bad time to sit there and take a little position if you really wanted to. But like I said, I wouldn't look to scale into a full position on this just until at least this hourly close. Just because, like I said, if we do break structure to the low, like, we're probably gonna go like a lot lower. We're not just gonna like go a little bit lower. So we don't want y'all to get slipped. But 30, like I said, was clean for shorts. 30 looked like out of the bunch, it was definitely the best. Gold, like I said, right at the beginning of that 30-minute candle, once we got that pop back up into there, it really was all she wrote with the longs, right? Now we came and filled everything though. So this is kind of what I was talking about, right? Us coming and filling everything, right? It's not to say that we'll get a reaction here, but you know, 1918, right? We could. It tapped 1918 on the dot, right? So if you guys just understand like these quarter levels and just these key levels when it comes down to just even numbers, like, everything is fractal, right? Numbers are so important. And if you really start to understand numbers a little bit more, you'll probably start to correlate that into your trading. And once you do that, like I said, just the confluence and that extra, I guess you could say, confirmation is just going to allow you to thrive a little bit more with positioning yourself at a level where you just feel good about the positions that you take, right? You don't feel anxious. You don't feel worried. You don't feel like, am I doing something wrong, right? You don't feel like any emotion that's not gonna be serving just your full purpose or just ideally what you're looking to accomplish. So on a 15-minute time frame, right, I really wouldn't want to see price close below there, right? Just from that 15-minute. If we are, that's 5-minute actually. 15-minute wise, if we close below here, like I said, that to me is just giving us that confirmation of where price really wants to go, which obviously is lower. So in terms of just being able to identify the shorts, like I said, 30 was just a lot cleaner, just where it was at in the range. Like if you were to have sold NAS here, you would have had an opportunity, but you really just have to look at overall like where the daily high was. The daily high is here. So if you just take today's daily high and yesterday's daily low, which basically is this low right here to this high, like you typically ideally want to be shorting at this level of the range, right? All the way up here, right? You don't want to be shorting down here, right? Anything below the 50% is really gonna mess up your potential to have just optimal risk to reward, especially when it comes down to trades, right? A lot of us are just focused on the wrong things when it comes down to the markets, and we need to be focused on things that are ideally going to just help us when it comes down to the longevity of positions, right? Because like I said, there's a lot of opportunities, but it's just being able to really identify what's going on in the market and also having the confidence to sit here and execute at a consistent level, right? At that high level. You don't want to sit here and lack confidence because you overthink or you just overanalyze. Like, it's just the best thing that you could possibly do is think less and just ideally trust yourself a little bit more in terms of overall direction. So to me, based off of how like this hourly's closing on Goldie, right, it's really gonna, to me, like I said, probably gonna continue to drop lower. The only reason why I could see us not dropping lower is just because of just how much lows we took, how much liquidity we captured, right? Even in terms of silver, right? Just seeing how we just swept this whole low. So it's interesting because in terms of the high of the day, we never actually took the high of the day on silver, right? We filled a similar IPA to what we did on gold, right? But now we took the low, right? So overall, now just really kind of looking at how the high of the day got respected, this is kind of one of those signs that you can use and kind of go back and backtest. Even for me, right? It's like, this is a learning, like this is something that I'll definitely, you know, apply to moving forward, right? Just seeing the structure. So basically what I'm talking about is the fact that this is the high of the day, right? And leading up into just now, this is the low of the day. So when I talk about price, just obviously coming into these areas, right, where we're trading, and obviously we have just certain points of interest, right, in terms of the market. What we really have to sit here and start to identify is, what are these, like, in terms of these areas, like, how are these areas in terms of just risk to reward potential, like, how are they benefiting your trading plan, right? How are they getting you maybe one step closer to where you need to be in terms of the charts? Because in terms of that, I feel like that's probably one of the biggest dilemmas that a lot of people encounter when it comes down to positioning themselves in the market. And it's just to be able to have that confidence to do so. Because now that we identified this, like I said, shorts would have been a lot cleaner, just at least to this low of the day, right? So to me, to have shorted from this IPA and to have had your take profit right below this low, you would have had TP hit in like an hour, right? Now it would have been clean, right? And now looking at price, like I said, it just really looks like we're going to continue to break down. Dollar looks like we're going to continue to break up. So with that being said, obviously, like I said, these shorts on indices are going to continue to just break down. So 30 was the only one that we had a clean position on in terms of shorts. Everything else, like I said, for my liking, was just a little bit lower down in the range. But in terms of that, like I said, the most important thing that we could really take into consideration when it comes down to trading and everything as a whole is just to ensure that things just go the way that we anticipate and the way that we want, right? And the way that we can ensure things go our way is by making sure that we're just disciplined with the daily habits, the routines, and all of that stuff as well. So yeah, shit. Ideally, if we do reverse on the day, to me it's just because of the fact that gold, like I said, gold and silver were diverging a little bit. So now that we have, like I said, making a new low of the day, we really could fly from here. And if that's the case, like I said, this area that we really had 4 hour, or the not 4 hour, but just overall on the weekly, right now this is, it's nicer, right? Because overall weekly is really what we were looking to buy off of anyway. Like, we're not buying off of the hourly, or like, if you guys understand how we really look for positions, it's out of the higher time frame, right? So that's why we really look for these swing reversal type trades, right? But in terms of that, family, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today, right? If you guys got any type of value, make sure that you guys drop a like, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna go ahead and see you guys tomorrow, right, live. And make sure you guys tune in today for the bootcamp 7:30. We're gonna be back at it again today, going over some smart money concepts and just teaching people some of the basic fundamentals in that aspect. So in terms of that, family, I love and appreciate you guys.